Welcome back, students. In the second chapter, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Long Walk to Freedom is a book written by Nelson Mandela himself, and here in this book he has mentioned his life struggle for making the country free from the clutches of the British people. Here at the beginning you can see apartheid system was there. Apartheid system is a political system that separates people according to their race. Apartheid, here people lost their identity. They could not participate any public affairs. Therefore these black skinned people in Africa were segregated from their race, and they were neglected in the society. And here Nelson Mandela showed us how his life struggle was. His African National Congress, that he participated in the National Congress of Africa, spent a lifetime and fighting against apartheid system. Mandela had to spend 30 years in prison. 30 years he spent in the jail, and finally his dream came true when he was fighting for the election that was held in South Africa in 1994, and he was going to take the pledge for the first black president of South Africa. It was a historic moment for the place. Here he also told that 10th May 1994, it was a very auspicious day for the soil of South Africa, because the country was witnessing a huge gathering of the people. Not only the local people but also the international delegates came there. More than 140 nations delegates and important dignitaries came to attend the place taking ceremony. Here what he told: Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress Party won 252 of 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. The inauguration ceremony took place in the Union Building of Amphitheatre in Pretoria. It was happened in the Union Building Amphitheatre in Pretoria, attended by how many people? More than 140 countries around the world. Once again he told, never again will this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela in his address. That means people of South Africa will never face such difficulty that they had faced recently, because they wanted to make it a democratic setup and republic. It was a jubilant scene on the streets of Pretoria. Followed the ceremony with blacks, whites and coloreds celebrating together. More than 1 lakh South African men, women and children of all races sang and danced with joy. Now the chapter begins. It was 10th May, dawn bright and clear. For the past few days I had been pleasantly besieged by the dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. Many people around the world, they came as a guest and be attentive to the functions as well as in the oath taking ceremony. Beforehand they came there to show their more respect to the newly president Nelson Mandela. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever on the international leaders on South African soil. It was a historic movement. Such good inauguration ceremony never happened in South Africa. The ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union Buildings in Pretoria. What happened? Actually, ceremonies took place in a large building, that was lovely building also made of sandstone. It was the Union Buildings in Pretoria. For decades, means 20, 30 years or more than this, this had been the seat of the white supremacy. Means British people captured this place and black people were not allowed to enter in this union building. Now it was the site of the rainbow gathering of the different colors and nations for the installation of the South African first democratic non-racial government. On the lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zenani. Here, Nelson Mandela was telling that he also brought his daughter Zenani, and on the podium, Mr. De Klerk was the first sworn in as the second deputy president for helping hand. Just like the second deputy president, first of all, he come up the stage and took the pledge, and his name was Mr. De Klerk, and then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in the first deputy president. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said. When it was a turn for Nelson Mandela, he come up the stage and he was telling that he wanted to serve for better for the constitution. He wanted to devote himself for the well-being of the republic or his common people. He was also telling towards the guest, what did he say? He told, today all of us do by our presence here confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Obviously, it was a newborn freedom and liberty for South Africa, and he wanted to dedicate this freedom to all the people. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. Actually, this freedom they got after enduring a lot of torture. They were humiliated, they were segregated, they were tortured in the brutal way, and all these things are just like the human disaster, extraordinary human disasters. Besides, there was apartheid system which was also very barbaric for the people. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. What did he say here? Who were outlaws not so long ago. Actually, people of South Africa were not legal for the soil of Africa because they were termed as illegal and have today been given the rare privilege to the host of the nations, nations of the world on our own soil. And here it is a fantastic moment for all of the people in South Africa because they are going to organize a program and inviting many delegates across the world. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take positions with people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace and human dignity. So students, here you can see, he wanted to give thanks to all the important personalities who came to attend as a guest on that occasion. He was also telling that it was their common victory. It is a victory for justice. They were getting the justice. It is a victory for peace and it is the victory for human dignity. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. Emancipation means freedom. We have at last achieved our political emancipation, means political freedom. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from continuing bondage of poverty. First of all, slavery system was there and people got freedom from all these evil systems. People were deprived now they will not be deprived. There is no suffering, there is no gender discrimination and other discriminations too. And what is more, he was telling, never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. Actually, torture will not be there by one nation to this nation. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. It was a fantastic achievement for them, and he was comparing this achievement just like a glowing of a sun, and this glowing of the sun will never set again. Let freedom reign, God bless Africa. He wanted to say that freedom should be continued, that they received newly, and God should bless all the people of Africa for their achievement and their upcoming new deeds. The next page, a few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters, and troop carriers roared in perfect formation over the Union buildings. It was a gorgeous scenery that can be seen in the sky. All the planes and helicopters are showing their demonstration in the sky, and it was just happening just above the Union building. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to the democracy. It was not only a simple demonstration, but by this particular way, the people from the sky wanted to show their loyalty towards the democracy, to a new government that had been freely and fairly elected. Only moments before, the highest generals of South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked, means decorated, with ribbons. Many people were there. They were in the high rank officials in the force as well as in the military. All the people in the defense can be shown that their chests were decorated with ribbons and medals from days gone by, and saluted me and placed their loyalty. Right now, Nelson Mandela was paid respect by these people, and I was not unmindful. He was telling that I did not forget such dreadful event, or the fact it was not happened many years ago before. He was remembering that incident, that some years ago he was put behind the bars, he was put into the jail and calling him a criminal. But right now these people are paying him respect. This is the difference he was getting right now. A chevron of Impala jets left smoke, a trail of black, red, green, blue, and gold of the new South African flag. It was the jet streams are flying in the sky, and these these jets are leaving some smoke. These are of different colors, just like the black, red, green, blue, and gold colors. All these colors containing in the African national flag. The day was symbolized for me by the playing of our two national anthems. On that very day, they have started the program with the singing of the two national anthems, the version of the whites singing Kosi Sikele Africa and black singing Diet Stem, two national anthems. So first national anthem for white people, Kosi Sekele Africa, and for the black people, Die Stem, the old anthem of the Republic. Although that day neither group knew the lyrics of the anthem they once despised, they would soon know the words by heart. First of all, they were not practiced about the rhythm of the national anthems, but by heart, when they started, they got the rhythm and they finished it. On the day of the inauguration, I was overwhelmed with sense of history. He was thinking about the history. In the first decades of the 20th century, a few years later, a bitter Anglo-Boer war. Anglo means British people and Boer means native Africans. There was a war between them, and before my own birth also, their before his own birth means here Nelson Mandela's birth, before his birth their fighting started. The white skinned people of South Africa patched up their differences and erected a system of the racial discrimination against the dark skinned people of their own land. It was just like the snatching of their rights from their own land. These white skinned people they came there for setting up colonies, and slowly they are assuming their political power and segregating the black skinned people from their rights. The structure they created formed the basis of one of the harshest and most inhuman societies of the world has ever known. Now, in the last decades of the 20th century and my own 8th decade as a man, that system had been overturned forever and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedoms of all the peoples regardless of their color and the skin. So what did he say? Here he was telling that first of all there was such a hard system was there, inhuman system was there. Right now it was totally changed, and it was the last decade of the 20th century when the old system became rejected and overturned forever. British people granted their freedom and replaced by one that recognized the rights and freedom for all peoples and regardless of their color of the skin. In this way, the people of Africa got the freedom. That day had come about through the unimaginable sacrifices of thousands of my people. That day had come about. That day means here the day of freedom they achieved because of the sacrifice or death of many people. People whose suffering and courage can never be counted or repaid. The people are not present here, but they will be remembered in the heart of the people. Their activities cannot be repaid. I felt that day as I have on so many other days that I was simply the sum of all those African patriots who had gone before me. He was wanting to tell that many patriots or the freedom fighters were there. They are enjoying the special day of 10th May because of the sacrifice and the bloodshed of that people, of that patriot. That long and noble line ended. It was a long fight and noble deed was ended and now began again with me. Now, as a new president, he wanted to take South Africa towards a new life. I was pained that I was not able to thank them and that they were not able to see what their sacrifices had wrought. He was feeling very much frustrated because he was not able to give thanks to all the people who brought this valuable freedom for the nation. The policy of apartheid created a deep and lasting wound in my country and my people. It was just like a wounded part. It was the wounded part in the heart that they received. All of us will spend many years All of us will spend many years, if not generations, recovering from that profound hurt. The profound hurt they received, that will not be forgettable. It will take a long time to forget all this, but the decades of the oppression and brutality had another unintended effect. That was, it produced the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sissulas, Chief Lithulius, Yusuf Dadus, Bram Fishers, and Robert Subukwes of our time. These all were the freedom fighters. These were men of extraordinary qualities. These were the men of extraordinary qualities. You can see the pictures of all these great freedom fighters. In my next class, I will continue from the next portion. Till then, goodbye to all of you.